Welcome to our show, Kathak, the classical dance of India, part 1 of 3. Thousands of years ago, in the northern region of India, traveling bards went from place to place telling epic tales and myths through dance, music, and song. These wandering storytellers were the creators of Kathak dance, which has evolved to become one of 8 main forms of Indian classical dance today. Over time, stories about Lord Krishna from legends and scriptures were added to the dance. It also encompasses artistic and religious elements from both Hinduism and Islam. From the common people to the nobles of the royal courts, Kathak dance has long been appreciated by all. To learn more about this age-old art form, Supreme Master Television had the pleasure of interviewing Miss Shakshi Batra Nayyar, a professionally trained Kathak dancer, choreographer, and dance teacher from New Delhi, India. Miss Nayyar began by telling us how she started to learn the dance.
I was 5-year-old child when my mother put me into a dance class. It was a very usual dance class. I had no clue about the dance, but my mother's passion, I think, took me through this journey. Then I attended a workshop with living legend Guru Pandit Birju Maharaj Ji. He's one of the best dancers we have in India and abroad. So I attended that workshop with him at Kala Ashram, that's his school. And the way he taught little things about Kathak, he made everything look so easy. So that's the point, I think, which pushed me further to learn this. And for instance, I still remember something that he taught us. There's a step in Kathak which goes like this. So he told me that, think that this is your paper and you're holding a pen and you're just drawing a circle. So he made this step look so easy that, it developed my interest in the art form. And from there, I started my formal training in Kathak from Kathak Kendra, which is the National Institute of Kathak in India. And I was fortunate enough to get my training under Guru Rajendra Gangani ji. He's my guru. And I did my graduation in Kathak. I learned Kathak for 10 years. After taking my diploma degree from Kathak Kendra, I started performing Kathak, I started teaching Kathak, I started choreographing different pieces. And so the entire thing started with, I think, Guru Birju Maharaj Ji.
There are 3 main gharanas or schools of Kathak that are named after the regions where they were developed: Jaipur, Banaras, and Lucknow. Miss Nayyar belongs to the Jaipur school. She goes on to explain the characteristics of each school.
For instance, Jaipur Gharana focuses on a lot of technical aspect of Kathak. So footwork, fast-paced pieces, very fast spins. So it's all about the pure dance. Lucknow Gharana, on the other hand, emphasizes graceful movements, elegance, expressions. So a lot of acting is there. They focus on the facial expressions. They focus on the grace of hands, of movements. So that's Lucknow Gharana. And Banaras Gharana, since Banaras is very close to banks of River Ganga, it has the spiritual connection to it. So the stories in Banaras Gharana are all about the gods, and they have bowls which are exclusive, which are not the percussion bowls, which are different from percussion. So that is the speciality of Banaras Gharana. So that's how Kathak developed from, ancient bards, and then it traveled to the Mughal era, and then it traveled to these families which created their own gharanas, and now we are learning from these different gurus who were then employed to the institutions to teach the young generation, and hence the art is flowing and transferring from one generation to another generation.
Graceful viewers, we'll now pause for a moment to hear a brief message. We'll return shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show on the ancient classical Indian dance form Kathak. Miss Nair next explains the connection between Kathak dance and other dance forms in the world, as well as to the Muslim religion.
It started with the traveling bards. It has connections. It has global connections. For instance, Kathak and Spanish flamenco, they are very similar, because people say that those bards traveled to Spain and then they transferred the art form to the Spain. So they have spins, they have the same kind of footwork. The only difference that is they dance with their shoes on, and we dance with our shoes off. And then again, ballet is very similar to Kathak. The same graceful movements, the pirouettes, hand movements, everything is so similar if you see the cultures around the world. In Mughal era, all the emperors were Muslims, and from there, Urdu, the Muslim language Urdu, was introduced in Kathak. So then, the language of the pieces that was usually Brij Bhasha, which is very close to Hindi, got converted into Urdu. So now we have pieces in Urdu as well, which we dance. So yes, there is a very strong connection with Muslims.
Miss Nair next kindly elaborated on the three important aspects of Kathak dance.
So basically, we have the hand gestures, we have the facial expressions, and we have the hastaka. So when in Kathak, when we start from here. We start from the midpoint, which is called Utpatti. Utpatti means the source, the origin. So whatever movement we are doing it from here. So if we go up, it goes from here. If we go side, it goes. If we go down, everything comes back. So this is a home for us. So this is the basic movement in Kathak. Again, then we have Urdhva Chakra Hasta, which means upper round hand. So it goes up, it goes round, the wrist goes round, and it comes down. This is called Urdhva Chakra Hasta. Then we have same Madhya Chakra Hasta, which means middle, round, and back. And then we have Tal Chakra Hasta, which goes down, round, and coming back. But everything comes back to Utpatti. We have more mudras that we use in dance. So I'm going to take you through. This is Pataka, Tripataka, Ardhpataka, Mushti. Mushti is fist. Then Shikhara, we have Ardhchandra, which is half moon. We have Sarpashish, which is snake. So these are the basic mudras that we use. I'm going to use Mayura to unwheel and look for something. I'm going to drag my wheel on with Kapitha. So these are the movements, hand movements that I'm going to use. The second part is facial expression. So in each classical dance form, we use Navarasa, the 9 moods that we call, 9 different moods or expressions. So, for instance, Hase, which means laughter. Then we have Karuna, which means sad. Then we have Veer, which means brave. Then we have anger, which means anger, Krodh. Then we have Vibhats, which is disgusting. And then we have Kam, which is Shantras, that's the ultimate content. So all the classical dancers follow through these 9 modes. And the third one is Hasta. So all the Hastaka, jitne bhi hum Hastak, whatever Hastak we are doing, that's the third aspect. So in Kathak, after every piece, we go still, which is the sum, which is the full stop. So whenever we go still, it means that piece has ended. So that's the Sthir Hastaka. So we have different Hastaka in which this is called Naman Hastaka, where I join both my hands. It's like I surrender to the audience, to God, to everybody who's watching me. So these are the 3 different aspects of Kathak.
Miss Nair graciously demonstrated a classical Kathak interpretation of a modern song, Miyante, Indian raga mix with rhythmic foot patterns, rapid spins, and flowing movements.
¿Dónde está mi ante? Say yeah, yeah, yeah. Takita di mi dirana, takita di mi dirana. Carissa, carissa, carissa. Carigasa, carigasa, carigasa. C'est comme ça, ma chérie, la 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 la. Carissa, 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 li babada, li babadisa.
That was an excellent performance by Miss Nair that allowed us to appreciate the beauty of Kathak dance. Elegant viewers, thank you for your company today during Kathak, the classical dance of India, part 1 of 3.